So we are online now and we can start the meeting. Okay. Very good morning. Namaskar, Adab. My name is Kalpesh Rana and I am the Surgeon at Arm for today's meeting. I welcome you all to 225th meeting of Vadodara Toastmaster Club. I know that everyone is excited to listen to our guest speaker. But before that, I would like to mention 3 grounds rules that we follow in our regular Toastmasters meeting. Let me share my screen. The first rule is we do not talk about sex, religions, and politics. Please mute yourself whenever you are not speaking for the meeting, and please turn off your video whenever you are stepping out of the meeting. Otherwise, keep your video on all the time. Now, I request everyone to repeat the club mission and vision after me. Please repeat. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I announce the meeting room is open and then hand over the dais to the President of Vadodara Toastmaster Club, Yogesh Kanta. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalpesh. Good morning, all. Okay. So today is our 225th meeting. I remember the day one I joined the Toastmasters a couple of years back, nearly 5 years back, with a dream of becoming a good communicator, to learn normally the skills of the communication, to become a good leader. Always there was an objective in our mind whenever we joined the Toastmasters. But always remember that only the objective or the goal is not important, but the journey is far more important than that. Because journey will not only give you an experience, but it will also decide whether you will be reaching your goal in the way it should be reached. And when in between the milestones like we have achieved today, 225th meeting is something which we need to celebrate and we need to stop and learn. Or let's say we need to unlearn and learn again on this day. I call this kind of milestones as a pit stop in the Formula One race car lingo. They are the place where you will be re-energized yourself so that normally you can again go to the track and drive towards your goal. Now, for our 225th meeting, we have 3 eminent keynote speakers who will not only help us normally in deciding our path, but they will also give us some guidance how to achieve that goal. It will be a lot of learnings today. Before anything ado, I would like to invite our Toastmaster of the day today, Toastmaster Sai Charan, to introduce them and take this meeting forward. Because today is a day of our keynote speakers and not me to speak more. Toastmaster Sai Charan.
Hi, thank you, Toastmaster Yogesh, and thank you for such an electric start to a great and wonderful meeting. I'm personally excited for the 3 keynote speakers, and as we go along, we'll definitely get to know more about them. Before I hand over the dais to the first keynote speaker, I would like to establish some 3 ground rules so that everyone is aware. Today, we have Toastmaster Krati as timer, and all the keynote speeches are timed for 20 minutes. To time the speech, green card will be shown at 18th minute and red card will be shown at 20th minute. And both cards will be displayed for 5 seconds so people can be aware of it. Toastmaster Krati, can you show the cards so that the speakers are aware of what to expect?
Yes, sure. Is the screen visible?
Yes, it is. So this is the green card and this is the red card. Thank you, Toastmaster Kriti. So once the speech is done for 20 minutes, all guests and Toastmasters can drop in their questions to me on personal chat so that I can post the questions to the keynote speaker. And the questions and answer session is timed for 5 minutes. So we'll keep everything in time. So we are all excited for our first speaker. So first up, we have Dtm Joe, who will present his keynote speech on Toastmasters Beyond Communication and Leadership. Just to give a brief introduction about him. He is a behavior and communication trainer, public speaker, and an entertainer. He is currently working as training manager at HDB Financial Services. He has been in learning and development domain for nearly 15 years, and he's an active Toastmaster for 6.5 years. Being a distinguished Toastmaster is another feather in his cap. Some of the accolades of Mr. Joe include 2-time Division Humorous Speech winner, 2-time Tall Tales winner, Division Evaluation and Table Topics first runner-up, International Speech Contestation contestant, founding president of Backpackers Toastmaster Club, and immediate president's media director, and 6 Triple Crown Award. I'm really excited to see and meet such an accomplished Toastmasters and hope you are all too. Dtm Joe, you want to add anything on the timing or you're okay with the cards that have been shown?
I'll be sharing my screen. So Kriti, if you could put it in the chat box, that should be fine, or virtual background, whichever you're comfortable with.
So, so you want me to put the timing or just put an alert on chat itself by not showing the card and just putting it on the chat?
Yeah, I'll be sharing the screen, so you would
Okay.
Yeah,
Pradeep,
sure.
Hope you're okay with that. So you can send a personal chat to Mr. Joe. So I think we're all set now. Over to you, Dtm Joe.
It was Toastmasters of the Day, it was Master Side Children, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
You are on mute.
Thank you, President Toastmaster Yogesh. Actually, I didn't even speak. I was only pretending to speak. On a Sunday morning, I just pranked all of you because it's just 10 o'clock. We need to wake up. We just need to make sure that we are awake for the next 2 hours, right? Just like I was pretending to speak, anything in our life, let it be Toastmasters, our professional, personal life, if we are pretending to do something, we will never get there. We can all say that I can say that I've been a trainer for 10 years, but if I'm only pretending to be a trainer, I can say that I'm a Toastmaster for 6.5 years, but if I'm only pretending to be a Toastmaster, I will never get there. As a club, for 225 meetings, if we were just pretending to have meetings, right, we will not be celebrating this. It will be just a number. So first of all, congratulations to the club, the ExCom, and to the members on achieving this milestone of 225th meeting. It's not just a number. It's been an effort right from the first meeting, probably even a few pre-charter meetings, efforts to charter the club, and then on 225 meetings, it's 225 weeks, efforts, speech. You can just calculate the numbers in terms of the speeches, right? Prepared and table topic speeches, and those were the efforts taken, and it's not pretending to do. It were efforts taken, real efforts taken, and that's the reason we celebrate. So this 20 minutes, let's make it lively, interesting. Let's not pretend to be there in the room, because virtual meetings, one big challenge is most of us keep our video off also, right? So which means we don't get to see. So I don't know whether you are there or whether you're pretending to be there. So to make sure of that, yeah, you can keep your video on, and I'll also make sure that we keep interacting. So even if your video is off, you can interact with me using the Zoom chat. Okay, so that's how we will make sure that we are present here during this 20 minutes. All right, so we have new Toastmasters who probably would have just recently joined Toastmasters. We will have Toastmasters who've been there for a few years, and also I can see a few guests in the room. So this 20 minutes, we will address all of them. Now, let's begin with the first activity. Open the chat box and in just 1 or 2 words, you'll have to reply to this question that the first time, if you're a guest, and probably if you're a first time guest, maybe this is the first time you'd have heard about Toastmasters, but even if you're a Toastmaster already, go back, do a flashback, go back to your first meeting as a guest, or even when you heard about Toastmasters. The first time when you heard about Toastmasters, even before attending the meeting, what did come to your mind? When you heard about Toastmasters, what is the first thing which came to your mind? You can open the chat box and pour in your answers. There's no right answer, wrong answer to this. You can just share, be genuine. You can be frank. The first time when you heard the word Toastmasters, what came to your mind? You can just put in your answers. Let's see. What exactly is Toastmasters? What do I really need to do? Okay. Let's hear it from others too. There is no right, wrong answers. You can just feel free to share. Public speaking, leadership skills. Okay, so Sharon got to know a little bit about communication skills, a learning platform. Great, more answers come. Speaking. Okay, so often Toastmasters is referred or known about public speaking. Okay, it's a platform for public speaking. What? Okay, so the first time you have about Toast, what exactly learn public speaking? Should I actually join it? Okay, great, wonderful answers coming in. Let me be also frank, being a foodie, the first time when I heard about Toastmasters, I thought that this is some cooking classes. And the club which I decided to go as a guest in Coimbatore, they had a tagline, Coimbatores Social Kitchen. So that made it even more sure that definitely this is a cooking class. But once I visited the club as a guest, I realized it's not food, but actually food for thought. Celebration. Okay, a lot of more wonderful answers coming in. Yes, the tagline of Toastmasters itself is where leaders are made, where communication is also a part of it. So all of us joined Toastmasters. I'm sure all the members would agree to it. There are different parts. This is for the benefit of new and the budding or to be Toastmasters. There are 11 different parts in Toastmasters. When we sign up or when we become a member, we choose a path based on what we would like to pursue in Toastmasters. And based on that, there are different levels, different projects. And these are your learning modules in Toastmasters. So something which would help you to be a better speaker. And then, of course, the leadership opportunities. It starts at the club level as a president or a VP. It goes beyond the club as an area, division, district. Who knows? If you are interested, you could probably in the future be the president, international president of Toastmasters International. It all starts or begins as a member. Right? We begin as a member and then the journey goes on in terms of communication and leadership. The best part here is it's all up to the member, what the member wants. For example, somebody might say that, see, I'm here to improve my communication skills. It's okay. It's okay if I don't have a leadership role. There could be someone else who might say that I am kind of decent with of communication. Yes, I want to improve, but then I'm focusing more on my leadership skills. So I would like to take up a leadership role. There could be some who would say that, okay, I want a mix of both. Let me focus on both. Whatever you want. It's like a buffet. Being a foodie, you will hear a lot of food examples. I'm sure you will not mind about it. So it's like a buffet. The whole platter is in front of you. Whatever you want, you can pick it up. And how much ever you have the appetite, you can go ahead and keep eating. It's unlimited opportunities. So is it all about speaking and leadership? There is a lot more beyond this. That is what actually I'm going to talk about. So to do that, let's do one more activity. Here is a small image for you. What you need to do it is the challenges in just one word. In just one word, you'll have to describe this image and put it in the chat box. So let's see. Let's wear the creative hat and let's look at what wonderful answers we are going to get. Butter pan. Okay. So that's a combo of elephant and butterfly. Butterpant is the first answer we have. Let's wait for a few more. Okay, elefly. So the other version of butterpant, flying elephant. One word, one word. Okay. Tejas have managed to club two words into butter trunk. Okay. That's a challenge. You are limited to share your or express your thoughts in just one word. Unnatural, amazing, giantifly. Okay. Nice. Anything else? There is no limit. There is absolutely no limit on how you want to look at it. But okay. Beauty giant, okay, exceptionally. Probably if there is a grammarian in the room, right? It could be their delight. They will make a book out of it, telling that these were the wonderful usages of today's meeting. There are so many new words added to the dictionary. All right. I will give you a little more leverage here. Same image, but if I give you an opportunity to express the same in 3 words, what we did so far was express it in just one word, right? Let's express it in 3 words. You can go ahead and express in 3 words.
Express in 3 words.
Okay. Looks like somebody is expressing in verbally also. I too can fly. That becomes 4. See, I gave you the option to make it 3. Still, we couldn't limit it. Okay. It can be 2 or 3. So maximum is 3. Maximum is 3. Natural beauty. I can fly. Great. Okay. I am light. Wonderful. So look at the different way in which we are looking at the same image, right? Some looks at it as beauty, some as like how even an elephant can fly. So which means I am a light, different perspectives of the same image, lightweight champion. Okay. We are into the contest season. So which means we are creating a lot of heavyweight and lightweight champions. I see the world better. All right. Beauty of forest. Okay. Elephants. I see my ears. Okay. Hope to rise. Wonderful. Great going, friends. We just saw what we just witnessed is to expand our thoughts in terms of thinking a couple of words or just expressing ourselves for a small image which I shared with you. The reason we did that is to continue with the activity. Now comes the actual question. Now we just saw earlier, a little earlier, that all of us joined Toastmasters to improve or work on our communication and leadership skills. But is it just that? Is there anything else beyond it? Go ahead. Don't just give me some random answers. If you have experienced in your Toastmasters journey, this is particularly for the experienced Toastmasters. When I say experience, even if you have attended one Toastmasters meeting, even that is experience, right? Out of your Toastmasters experience, in your Toastmasters journey, what is that you have experienced beyond communication and leadership? Go ahead and share it. Getting a mentor, wonderful, bang on. So something which is the least underrated, listening again. A lot of us focus so much on speaking, but we never think of listening, right? So if you look at your meeting, we just speak for 5 to 7 minutes, remaining almost 2 hours, we are just listening. Okay, feedback, organizing, okay, improving, networking, yes, wonderful. There is so much more, right? Contributing, connecting. So again, improving, personality development, storytelling, beautiful, giving and receiving feedback, and being able to express, right? Having a platform to express. It's not just speak, but also to listen to others, self-improved conversations, beautiful. All right. So thank you so much for all those responses. Something which we all need to remember is Toastmasters is not everything in our life, right? Probably a couple of hours in a week. So there is so much more happening in our life beyond Toastmasters. So you might be a passionate Toastmaster who might want to spend more than 2 hours in a week, which is absolutely fine. Many of us do that. But the point I'm referring to is whatever we do in that 2 hours or in the preparation or to the road to that meeting, right? Whatever we experience in that, we need to make sure that those learnings are implemented or used outside Toastmasters too. Which means in a Toastmasters meeting, I can give a speech on how we need to show empathy on others, how we need to care about others. And after the meeting, the VP asks you for, can you take up the Toastmaster of the day for the next meeting? And you don't even reply to the message. You take 5 days to reply to the message, but during the meeting, you say that we need to show empathy to others, we need to care for others. So it's not about the 2 hours meeting, it's much beyond that. As we beautifully put across, the conversations, the relationships, the friendships, the networking, which we make, all this put together is a package. So any budding new Toastmaster and to be Toastmasters, if you're thinking that, yes, it's all about public speaking, not actually. That is the core. Pathways and your leadership opportunities are the core, but there are these hidden skills or the opportunities which we continue to learn beyond that. So let me quickly summarize whatever we just spoke about, then unlimited read. So a couple of other skills apart from what I shared, which I wanted to add, like we don't think about it, just like how we spoke about listening, reading. You got to be a good reader. I'm sure when we start thinking about what to speak for a speech, we are totally blank, right? We don't even know what to think of. So being a reader helps you to be a better in terms of vocabulary, and also it gives you a lot of stories. You would have read something on how somebody else has written. It helps you to write your script too, which means you get better at your writing skills because you're writing your script. I would recommend everyone to write your script because that helps you to improve your writing skills too. So the end result is a speech, but what is happening before that or the behind the scenes is actually you're becoming a better reader, you're becoming a better writer. I know a lot of Toastmasters who are nowhere into a public speaking domain. Probably they would have been an IT professional or into a different domain, sales domain. After joining Toastmasters, they realize that, okay, so they have the flair for public speaking. They have that touch. And I know a lot of people who have moved into or shifted their career into a trainer, or even at work, wherever needed, they take up the role of being the trainer for that event, right? So that's an opportunity. You get to be a trainer because you get this platform to speak and also receive feedback. As we discussed earlier, there are so many events where we could be the organizer, right? In fact, every meeting, just like today's meeting, every club meeting is an opportunity to organize. It's not just you who come and speak, right? There is a group of volunteers, the group of role players who come together. So if you're the Toastmaster of the day, if you're the VPE, there is so much of coordination which happens that you are organizing every meeting. And all put together as a package, what happens is we become a better person. When we get to meet such like-minded people, when we get to talk to so many people, we become a better person too. Eventually, as I just said, during the meeting, I can speak about empathy, but after the meeting, if I'm not showing empathy, it's not right? So you actually practice what you preach. And mentor, something which I mentioned, as a experience as a mentor and also as a mentee, something really beautiful in Toastmasters Contest. If you think, okay, just delivering a speech is too basic for me, I am much above that, there are contests. Take it to the next level, participate in contests. If you don't want to participate, you can always be an organizer in the contest. Right now, maybe not too much of physical traveling, but as Toastmasters, I'm sure all of us would love to visit other clubs. So don't restrict your learning to only to your club. As much as possible, travel, visit other clubs. Right now, maybe virtually, later physically also. Bring the best practices to your club. So that is also something which you can do. A lot of events which you can be part of. And most importantly, in my 6.5 years of Toastmasters, apart from all this pins which I received, something which I will always cherish is the friends whom I have earned in Toastmasters. In fact, even my presence in today's milestone meeting is because of a common friend between Yogesh and me. So it is a beautiful network, a family to have, which we can continue to learn and experience. As we come to the end of the session and the end of my time, here is the image again, but we are going to do something different here. Okay, I need a volunteer for it. Let's see who's the first person to volunteer. You can raise your hands or you can, okay, I see a chat box. Let's see. Okay, anybody to volunteer? If somebody, since I'm sharing the screen, I cannot see everyone. So somebody can help me also if anybody has volunteered or raised their hands. You can unmute and share your name also. You're done with 18 minutes, so we just have 2 minutes. So quickly, any volunteer. Only after you volunteer, I'll tell you what to do. Don't worry, I will not ask you to jump from your building. All right.
Toastmaster Dtm Joe, maybe I can volunteer.
Yes, wonderful, Sai. Great. So Sai, all we're going to do is, we have 3 prepared speeches today, right? So keynote speeches, we don't have table topics. So let's make sure that that is also addressed for the benefit of guests. They get to know that. And also what we're going to do is the same image for which we expressed for a word, 3 words. That's the topic. The topic is just the image. Sai Charan is going to deliver a table topic speech for 1 to 2 minutes. I'll stop sharing the screen. Kriti, you could share your screen for 2 minutes to help Sai Charan. Sai Charan, you could take a few moments to get ready. So table topics, as Sai Charan gets ready, table topics is also an integral part of Toastmasters meeting for the benefit of guests, where you get a topic on the spot and need to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. It helps us to be a better impromptu speaker, which is also required for a public speaking or to be a better leader and speaker. Sai, let me know you're ready. Image is the same.
Yes, I'm ready, Dtm Joe.
All right, so let's go.
All right, so there are many ways to interpret this image, but the key theme which I identify with is you are not what you are made out to be, but what you are set out to be. So if the elephant just wanted to be an elephant, it could never achieve what it wants to. But once it imagines it is a butterfly, it can achieve what it wants to. So likewise, in my Toastmaster journey, trying to tie back with the journey, people start out different. They have different learning speeds. They have come from different backgrounds. But once they join Toastmasters and once they set out to be something which they wanted to achieve, or once they wanted to turn into a great speaker, they can always get right help and with right motivations and with the right investments in form of energy and time in the Toastmasters Club, they can surely become what they want. So I've seen many examples right in front of me with distinguished Toastmasters like you, with many veteran Toastmasters in my club. They start different. No one says that I was a born speaker and I've always been like this since the start of time. They humbly acknowledge that they have always started small, and with right amount of mentoring and investments, they were able to become what their dream path is. So that is the interpretation which I take, and that is the key takeaway for me from this image.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sai. Let's all give a huge round of applause to Toastmaster Sai. I wanted to summarize the whole speech, and that is exactly what I made Sai to do it. Right, so he just summarized my whole presentation. All I wanted to say was the limits are in our mind. It's not just about Toastmasters. Whatever we do in our life, the limits are just in our mind. If you think it's all about speaking, that's it. If you think, okay, it's Toastmasters is only this, that's it. Remember the platter in front of you. Everything is available. Whatever you want to eat. You want to eat healthy. You want to have only the starters. You want to have it right from the soup to the desserts. It's all up to you. It's right in front of you. And best part is, like, after eating for some time, we feel full, right? But it's never the case in terms of learning, in terms of Toastmasters. You will never feel full. You will, if you have the appetite, you can keep having more and more food for a thought. So be a part of this wonderful community. If you're already part of this Toastmasters community, continue to grow. Don't limit yourself to what you know. continue to grow in terms of your opportunities. Every day, every meeting is an opportunity to grow. And if you are a guest thinking about should I join, that should I join question is just the limit in your mind. So this is the right time. Just go join, experience this wonderful community, and be a part of this organization to learn more about it. It's a 97-year-old organization, so you can imagine the number of efforts. These numbers are interesting to listen to, but it also refers to how it's been consistent. As I said, it wasn't done. It was they were not pretending to do. They would have never got 97 years, right? So thank you so much. That's it for my time. For all the guests, for not being pretending to be there but actually participating, because I could see wonderful responses in the chat box. So do not have any limits, and it applies to your life outside Toastmasters too. If there is a limit, it's just in your mind. So just go beyond it and go achieve it. You could be that elephant with that wonderful wings, beautiful wings, right? I think we have a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, you can feel free to unmute and ask. With that, we will close the session.
Yes, thank you very much, Dtm Joe. A very informative session, and rightly pointed out that Toastmasters Club is more than just public speaking and leadership skills. There are many more layers to it. Thank you for bringing that out, Dtm Joe. So you can raise your hand, and if you have any doubts, you can ask Dtm Joe, or you can put the question in the chat box, and I can relay it to Dtm Joe.
There are only two occasions when nobody has a doubt. One, they have understood everything. Second, they have not understood anything. So I'm hoping it's not the second.
Maybe I can kickstart. I have a couple of doubts on the great speech we gave. So during your 6.5 years of Toastmasters journey, anything you wish you could have done differently so that young and budding Toastmasters during initial part of the journey can be aware of it and be prepared for it?
The first thing when I joined Toastmasters, I realized, in fact, my only regret in my Toastmasters journey is like, why did I join so late? The eligibility to become a Toastmaster is 18 years. At 18 years, I didn't even have a clue that there is something called Toastmasters. I was part of a lot of clubs, college clubs, as a mentor and also as sponsor. So I used to always mention this to them that if I had known that there is something like Toastmasters during my college days, I wouldn't even have had any second thoughts. I would have joined during my first year of my college life. So all of you, if you're having a club in your college itself, there isn't anything better than that. So don't wait for becoming a professional. You do a presentation and then realize that you didn't go well, and then look out for a Toastmasters club. If there is an opportunity, start early, as early as possible. In fact, there are Gavel clubs also. That is for 18 years is the eligibility. So for members below 18 years, kids below 18 years, there is even Gavel club, where I know a lot of Gavels who at the age of 10 and 12, they are already like a pro or even better than Toastmasters. So start early.
Great. Thank you, Dtm Joe. So next question is from Toastmaster Kunal. He wants to know your biggest learning from Toastmasters Club.
Often they say that winning is not everything. Participation is important. So greatest learning in Toastmasters is, that's wrong. If winning is not important, then why do we need to have contests? Every season we have so many contests happening, right? Winning is important, but that's not everything. What do you win? That also matters. Sometimes you might not be the first place winner. I have personally had these occasions where I was the second place or third place winner, but almost after 2 years, 3 years, it happened just a week back also. Somebody called me from a district which I am not even part of right now. Like I was part of this district some 4 years, 5 years back. They called me and said, we have a milestone meeting, and for which we are inviting a few guest speakers, and would you be available and deliver that semi-final speech which you delivered in 2017? I lost it in the finals. I gave two different speeches. Usually people go with the same winning speech for the semi-finals and the finals, but I had different ideas. I went with two different speeches, and the final speech did not click, and I lost it in the finals. However, instead of calling the winner of the finals, they wanted to invite someone who was the semi-final winner only. And that I felt was a bigger victory than the trophy, because somebody feels that this was a better speech than the winning speech, right? It happens sometimes. So many a times it happens where you might lose a contest, but it's okay. It's part of the process. It's part of the contest. You might have disappointments. You will come with a lot of expectations because it's a professional forum. You would expect everyone to behave the same. That's the second learning. You might have that passion. You might respond to someone immediately in 2 minutes, but then there could be someone else who might not even respond to you for an year, especially when it's renewal season. If there is VP membership in the room, they will treat you as like someone who calls you for, sir, do you want loan? So that's how they will treat you, like a salesperson. It's okay. It's all part of it. It's a voluntary organization. Don't take it too close to your heart when you have disappointments. Just remember that they're also just another human being. So probably they had some other reason. Probably they had something else. It's okay. So let it go. You just move on. You continue to have your passion. Do not get too disappointed when you face that rejections. Let it be a contest, or let it be even a member not renewing. It could be any rejections. That was because initially I was like, seriously, how can this happen in Toastmasters? It took some time, and then I realized, no, it's okay. It happens.
Thank you, Dtm Joe, for that. So we can take one last question, and the question is, how did the Toastmaster experience help you in your professional and personal career?
Interesting, because I was a trainer already before when I joined Toastmasters. So I was like around having 4 to 5 years of experience as a trainer, and then I joined Toastmasters. So a lot of them asked me also, you're already a trainer, you're into public speaking so much, and why do you want to join Toastmasters? For me, it was all about the love for speaking. But as I said, more than speaking, what I cherished was the networking, the number of friends whom I could make. And I saw this or use this as a platform. Yes, I was a trainer, but what Toastmasters gave me was an option to explore it. As a trainer, there are certain objectives. There is a PPT. I just go deliver the session. That's it. But as a Toastmaster, I could explore it to a next level where I tried a lot of humorous speeches, as you already saw in the introduction. I won it a couple of times too, which gave me a thought that why not? So I've done a lot of open mics and a few stand-up comedies, not as a full-time profession, but I could take my profession to the next level in terms of not just being a speaker or a public speaker in terms of a trainer, but to add more flavor to the joy of my speaking, of becoming an anchor for events, a stand-up comedian. So these were the flavors which I were able to add because of Toastmasters to my speaking profession.
Great. So in interest of time, we will curtail Q&A session for now. And rest of the questions, I'm not sure whether Dtm Joe will be open to take those questions later, or maybe if they can reach out to you through any medium.
Sure.
Got it. All right. So we have next speaker. Thank you, first of all. Great session, Dtm Joe. It was really wonderful and really insightful. Great session indeed.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Toastmaster Nilesh, and he has a short introduction, but I think he will present his speech in a more effective and impactful way. Toastmaster Nilesh is educator, a lifelong learner, and mindfulness practitioner, and he will be presenting his speech on mindfulness. Before we move on to the speech, just to reiterate the ground rules for the speaker. So the keynote speeches are timed for 20 minutes. A red card will be showed for at 20 minutes and a green card at 18 minutes. Toastmaster Krati, can we have the timer cards up so that
Yes, sure.
Dtm Nilesh is aware of what to expect? So this is the green card, which will be shown for 5 seconds. And this is the red card, which will be shown for 5 seconds. Toastmaster Nilesh, do you have any specific request on?
No, there's no. Good morning, everyone. There is no specific request as such. I hope when I'm going to share a PowerPoint in between, I hope it's going to be visible, or you just have to interrupt me. It's okay if it is not visible by chance, because of the technology.
Got it. So
I hope I'm audible. Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible, Toastmaster Nilesh. So Krati, you can message Toastmaster Nilesh at the time. And after the session is over, you can drop in the questions in chat. I will relate to Toastmaster Nilesh. Toastmaster Nilesh, over to you.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone, and good morning from Dubai. So here it's still something around 9:15, and I'm in my favorite place, that's India. So when Toastmaster Yogesh actually contacted me and he said, you got to do a keynote. So I said, okay, I'll speak about my journey in Toastmasters, because I've been a Toastmaster for a while. And in fact, I inscripted him in my club in Dubai when we started a club, we chartered a club. And then I said, no, okay. Then he said, that's already taken. And then he says, then I said, I travel a lot, and all my stories people love. Then he said, that also is taken by my mentor, Dtm Leo, so who's in London. So I said, what do I do now? What topic? There are so many topics I can tell you and talk about. That could be calculus, statistics, but then maybe Indians are very good at it, and probably, why again maths? People have left maths far behind. So mindfulness is something which I stumbled upon. And we Indians, we all know about mindfulness, yoga. But my thing was, because when I came to Dubai and I started teaching as a young teacher, a lot was on my plate. So in the morning, I used to go and teach classes. In the evening, I used to do remedial classes. And in between, I was never happy. And a mentor of mine who actually used to teach in Dubai, she is in the US, she said, Nilesh, nothing is working for you. We've been friends for 2 years. She's an older lady who told me, you need to cool down. Because if you consider me as a mentor, do a course on mindfulness. So I was traveling to US because I had a course in Stanford University, a maths program course. So she said, there is a very good institute which trains teacher like you who do not know anything. You can take a course, a week-long course, and you will be a certified teacher, and you can do that in your classroom. So the journey begins then in 2017 when I was visiting US, and this course I took in Omega Institute of Holistic Learning in New York. So it has more of a perspective of what you could do in a lighter way, because we are always stressed out and we always want to achieve the next thing. People go through job situations, people go through so many things. So what mindfulness does, here is some techniques which I'm going to share, which I found very useful. And like I said, I travel, and during my travels and my sojourns, I picked it up from teachers, mindfulness practitioners, wherever I could, through groups on FB, through Airbnb. So one of my guru is, or my teacher was a lady, Caroline. She stays in Berkeley. And when I was staying with her, she taught me how to do mindful eating. And she actually prepared the breakfast and she gave it to me. When I was in Japan, in Tokyo, I did the Japanese tea ceremony. And it was not about drinking the small bowl of tea. It was all about the rituals and the things when you calm yourself down. So all these things, of course, India is a great place. I'm planning to visit Coimbatore by the end of this month. And then there's one guru already there, one teacher already there. And all these people manifest because you believe in it. When Sri was here, I took a course. When Sadhguru came to Dubai, I did attend it. So this is a journey, and only 2 cents I can give you, and you have to embark on it. And there are millions of videos and literature on mindfulness. There are TED Talks given. So if I could initiate, and if you're already there, then definitely it's a reverse process. There's reverse mentoring, because even a mentor gets evaluated in Toastmasters. So definitely, it's going to be a lifelong conversation. So just like, as they say, the taste of pudding. is in eating a pudding, we will just indulge into a small practice. Because right now, so wherever you are, I would implore you to just sit in an upright position. If you are comfortable, you may close your eyes. Your mind will wander. If you want, you can keep it open. And we are going to do something called as a quick body scan. And the whole idea of mindfulness is basically to break the rhythm, be in a non-judgmental place, and be in the present. So if you are there, all of you, you can sit at the edge of your chair. You can just make a comfortable position. And then we will scan our body parts. That's it. So when you start scanning, you can start from your hair or your forehead. Then your eyes, your ears, lips, your chin, drop your chin, your shoulders, drop them. They carry a lot of stress. Go down to your chest, your belly. As you breathe in, see that your belly moves out. Your thighs, your knees, your ankles, your feet is firmly on the ground. And wriggle your toes. Don't make an effort. Focus on your breath, on your body parts. Your mind will wander. Bring it back. And again, we will go from bottom to top now. Loosening up your toes now. Paying attention to your ankles, your knees, your belly, your chest. If there is any pain on your shoulder or anywhere, try to let it go. Your neck, nose, again back to your nose, your ears, and you may gently open your eyes with a smile. So how was it? Anybody wants to tell me? Because, maybe many of you are corporate. So how was the feeling? You can unmute and speak. It's, yeah, anybody.
It was refreshing.
Yeah. So each to his own. So yeah, exactly. So everybody gets the feeling. But when I was in that retreat, initially I couldn't focus. And then I was like, did I do a right thing? Because people go to US and they go and explore. And here I was doing mindfulness. So, but eventually you actually go through the process and do a regular practice of this. So what happened is when we give speeches, many of us have been to the area and the district level. And no matter how much we prepare, we are never prepared for a speech. We said, oh, one more day I get, and I would just rock it. And sometimes the event gets canceled, and then again, we wish the same. So sometimes 5 deep breaths or doing a body scan and being present and aware of the situation is very important. Now, we forget, now this thing will get over and you will move on. And it's a Sunday, so probably everybody would go for lunch. And this goes on. So how do you remember these practice? You remember this practice by stacking it up with your regular thing, because you brush in the morning, and after the brush, even when you're brushing, the bristles which moves on your teeth, and That time also you can do a mindful brushing rather than just going fast. It cools down. Then there is mindful having a cup of chai. So like, when you drink, if you have a tree, usually, in my campus, there are trees. So I go there and I sit and I just see the trees and have a cup of coffee or a tea, whatever it is. When you're chewing, if you decide that the first morsel you should chew it for 40 times. I know, too much of a figure, but maybe you'll do it for 30 times. And then that becomes a mindful eating. There are so many small practices, large practices, big practices. Vipassana, there's a Vipassana center in Mumbai where I come from. It is, so you can, and this is a long process, but then if you take up the challenge. So if you want to do mindfulness, there are a lot of resources. I can give you some resources. You can do it anytime. It's not difficult. You don't have to take any poses, any difficult positions. And it's not going to cause you any harm. What harm it could cause, because even when you do something in yoga, you have to have a very good instructor with you who should be certified, who should be able to carry you. Even if you go for a massage, that time also you need a very certified person because he might mess up with you. But what I usually follow with mindfulness, those techniques are very, very simple, right? And you can do it anytime and it's not going to cause you any harm. So how many of us are constantly thinking because of mind wander? With show of hands, or just you can use the reaction button there. Anybody? This group is very mindful, looks like. Okay, so at least we have one Toastmaster, Karthi. Yeah. So the human nature is like that, right? From the fight and flight, we always been thinking, and what if we lose the job? What happens is about illness, there's a small pain, till this double scanning comes in, we are not very happy. And then the property issues, there is differences of opinion in an office, and we all know this, and we all been a part and parcel of that. We cannot get away with that. We have to be in a real world. We cannot become a monk. I wish I could become a monk who sold his Ferrari. But so keeping all these things in mind. So what I do is, and this is realistic, and those who have stayed abroad, maybe the challenges are slightly more than those who stay in our a very good country. We are very proud of it. It's the way it's prospering. So what happens is, we have some other stresses also, because we are also here on visas and this and that. So you're constantly thinking about it. You're driving, you're thinking about it. You go to an event, you're thinking about what's to be done next, job change. A very good mindful practitioner told me this when I actually opened up with it. He said, you will never ever come out. Till you take your last breath, the breath before it also, you will be thinking about something. Maybe you will prepare a meal and that meal you will pass on to somebody else. It would go in your eulogy. He was very, very direct. And he said, you know what? Try to do this. In your house, you keep a chair and a table in a room, in a corner of a room. And there you keep a pen and a book. Now, if you can dedicate a time, you go there and worry for the day. And just not worry, oh my God, no. Write down also how you're going to tackle it. Write down a strategy there. So this is what is my projects or my presentations are getting delayed, or this email has not come, my targets are not achieved. So you worry about that. Okay, for us, we are not able to complete the syllabus, not graded the papers, not submitted the recommendation letters. So write about that. In that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then you can do a body scan, a breathing technique, which I'm going to show you. And after all that has been done, get up from there. And then you are not going to go back. Yes, invariably it will, unless you make it a conscious practice. And next morning or whenever you meet the person for that event, you apply those techniques. And this is not going to happen because I said, or it came from somebody who practices, unless you put it into practice. Otherwise, what happens is your quality of thoughts goes down, and which I have observed myself, because I was constantly worrying about things. So if you want, you can try, and my contact is here. You can message me. My details were here, maybe on Facebook. Few of you might be connected through me, through FB or Insta. And I would love to find how it affected you. How was it? But consciously, and this is a very powerful technique, because I had this habit of carrying during my engineering days when I was constantly worried till the time the results came out, because you know what happens in engineering, the three idiot stories, okay? Till I got the BE degree from Mumbai University, I was that whole 2 months. What if I get a KT and this? I've moved on. Who's going to touch those boring subjects? Because I did my chemical engineering, and actually there's a very vibrant club which meets there, which is the Mumbai Toastmasters Club, which meets in National College. So when I'm in Mumbai, I actually go there. So when I go there, I look at the building and I said, okay, I'm done. Thank you, got my degree. So I also remember how 4 years of engineering was stressful. When I came here, I always used to, whenever I go anywhere, I was carrying all that stress, that mental stress with me. So this brings a part closure. And so this is one technique which you can always do. So there are, just moving on, those who have kids, there are a lot of kids, videos of small kids who have practiced mindfulness. And these are the schools in UK. I'm very sure there are schools in India. And they have found immense benefit from mindfulness. And those of you who are educators or who would like to pursue, there's also a program called as .B, which is accredited program in the UK. So you can always learn this technique, go get yourself certified, and go to schools, colleges, universities, and hold sessions. And it will also, it's like, it's going to be of immense help to you, and also you're going to make an impact in the community at large. So this is all some part of my journey, which is 4 years in mindfulness. I also used to be associated here. Right now, we are not doing it. We used to go and teach English to the blue-collar community. And I used to go with my students. Now, these are college-going students. So we used to teach them English language, basic English language. So one day, a student of mine told me, so why don't we do a mindfulness session? Then I was like, really? We go once, we used to go on Friday because Friday is off. And should we really indulge into that 20 minutes of the session? So what we did is, okay, I said students, then I told my students, you only lead it, because we do it in the classroom. And when we did that session of mindfulness, our blue-collared friends, they were so happy. And on a Friday morning, just to do a little bit of breathing and some techniques which we shared. So across the board, across the spectrum, I found that it was successful. So anybody has any question before we move on? Anything, anybody would like to, because I don't want to be giving a discourse here. So anybody who would like to share their experience, or would like to ask me something, or everybody is there in that nirvana position and I should not take the credit for it. Okay.
So Nilesh, Yogesh here.
Yeah.
We haven't practiced mindfulness, maybe unintentionally or subconsciously, maybe we have done that. But we would like to know how we can apply that technique in our professional lives, because in our professional lives, we will be always juggling with many things. It always creates us the stress. It always gives us the anxiety. How this mindfulness can help us out in normally achieving a state where normally we can focus, or it increases our focus on our target, our goal. And day by day, normally we can be a better person.
Okay. So basically your mind will wander. That is one thing, unless you're a Himalayan yogi. And the Himalayan yogi these days is not a very good term, but unless you're a Himalayan yogi. So if you're absolutely at a bliss of that, in that state, it's a different story. But I would say that when, for example, there might be some people in the audience. We had a panel discussion last week in which one person, he said, I don't believe in mindfulness. And we were 3 panelists, and he said, because this mobile made people billionaires and millionaires, and if one of the panelists said that you have to give up all these mobile techniques, and you should have the idea of mindfulness was something related to a Himalayan yogi or somebody who has given up everything, who has no interest in making money or having a family. It's not like that. I would say that you have to be non-judgmental. what happens is once we get a bad experience from someone, we cut that person off. We have to exhibit empathy and kindness and give one more chance. And it doesn't mean that one more chance is like, you'll put everything on stake. Mindfulness also teaches you a technique which I learned is I've just made an acronym for it. MCE. M stands for moderation. I hope I'm audible, Toastmaster. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So M stands for moderation. What happens is we either do it in an extreme way when we go for a workout or when we bring in something, even Toastmastering. We go to every club, we give every speech, we go to the gym and we pick up weights, and then there is something which happens, our muscles are not keeping up with it, and then we take a 6 months break. Even with Toastmaster, the burnout comes. You're in this club, you're in that club, you're in that contest, and finally there is too much of Toastmastering done. So I always feel that moderation is more important in anything you do. Second is continuity. C stands for continuity or continuum. If you're doing Toastmastering, then I'm just giving you an example. Then be consistent with your speeches. Some people will give a rocking speech and then they don't show up. So continuum is also very, very important that you're doing it in a continuous way. So same with mindfulness, non-judgmental, breathing techniques, body scanning, plethora of literature there, association. Most of us travel these days. Traveling is very common, even in India. And with those apps, there are so many practitioners, and they would love to meet you. I met people in remote corners of the world. The reason is that if I can meet them in those places like Auckland and Tokyo or in London and Berkeley, what about India? India is a huge country, and we have so many cities, and we can definitely make a network of mindfulness people. And the third is E, that is enjoying the process. If you are not enjoying it, it's really not worth. I can understand 30 or 40% of your work will be something which you will not enjoy, and I'm realistic about it. Yes, we will have to do something with, for example, grading papers is not something which I enjoy, or sometimes an invigilation duty which comes. Yes, I do understand. I'm not somebody who is not paying my bills, or some people say maybe he comes from another planet. What is he talking? That's the reason I always tell them to apply this rule, MCE. Everything in moderation. Always do it in a continuous way, whatever you're doing, and enjoy the process. And all those cliches, life is too short and this, that all holds true now during COVID time. I was stuck in India for 6 months, and initially it was difficult. And then I started enjoying. I did not want it to leave. When they opened airspace, I said, why do I leave my country, such a beautiful place? But then I had to pay my bills. So, I couldn't take an instant decision. So we all have to be realistic. Yes, we have a job. A part of the job might not be enjoyable, but focus on the 70% and take those 30% as something which is necessary. So I always apply this rule. When somebody talks to me, I'm mindful, I'm respectful, in the sense there are two things they say, like a mindful, that is all of clutter and you don't know, and a mindful person will listen to the person, will be non-judgmental. When you get an appraisal, when you get a feedback, a colleague talks to you, I would rather not react immediately. Or even if I get a feedback that my work was not up to the mark, okay, next day I come back because I have to sleep over it, because God knows what state of mind I am, and it might lead to an escalation, and that relation can be totally burnt when you're talking about the work. And I always try to see that I'm not stepping on anybody's toes intentionally. And if somebody is deliberately doing it, then we always have to look back, approach our mentors, and get back to the situation. So all this process and this journey is only possible with association, books, and continuum. So ABC of mindfulness. So you associate with people who are mindful, who are like-minded. There are books in terms, when I say books, no one reads books as such now, but there are so much content on digital content. There are apps or books also, if you enjoy reading a book, a paperback, and continuum, ABC of mindfulness. So I hope there is some clarity in you got. But again, as I said, the taste of the pudding is in eating it and not just listening to something and feeling good and with a continuum. Anybody has any other question? You can.
I think Toastmaster Kunal has asked a question on chat box. Maybe I can share that with you. So he wants you to share an experience where you successfully broke your bad habits and developed some good habits through mindfulness.
Yeah. So that's a very good question. I have too many bad habits. So to focus on one thing is which we were classically known, which I lost a very good friend in, that was not arriving on time, especially with work. I have to, because I have a class at 7:30. So there is nothing, it's a non-negotiable. So work-wise, I used to go on time because, try to reach 1 or 2 times a tardy day. But I had a very good friend. Now he's gone back to US, and I used to give him time on Fridays. And he was also a mentor, and he used to read a lot of books and used to talk. The only thing what I did was I used to make him wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And he just used to get so angry because for him, time means something very, very important. And one day what happened is I made him wait 15 minutes. This is like 10, 12 years back. And then he said, I'm deleting your contact. You are no longer friends. Don't even try to call me. And I tried to reached out to him. And then I really got an impact at all my Friday mornings where I used to meet somebody, we used to have a good conversation. I lost a good friend. So mindfulness taught me this also, how I could be, respect others' times. So this is something which was a very classic in me, that being late, fashionably late. I don't know where I got it. I can't talk about the whole community at large, but maybe they say that, particular class of people, like, people like me used to go late to events because they want importance. Everybody's waiting. So now I decided mindfulness helped me to arrive on time. It also, so that was a very bad habit. We take it lightly because it's absolutely not acceptable. Maybe we are fashionably late and it's accepted from our school days and growing up. But even when we travel, especially this was something which happened when I took a flight, and this was something I reflect every time. So when I took a flight from Mumbai to Tokyo, and that was delayed because of the air traffic control. And the air hostess there, till we reached Tokyo, apologized, and she said that this was not our fault. It was because of the situation in Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus. And she apologized, sorry for the delay, sorry for the delay. And you see, when we travel here in this, we are fashionably late, no one bothers to apologize. And so that is when I met a fellow traveler, and he taught me something about the value. And I said, this got stuck into my mind. I mean, to say, so many times I've taken a flight, they did not even offer me like an apology. Forget about tea, coffee, but apologies. 5 hours I was stranded. So he told me about the Japanese culture, why they are so successful. And when we went for the tea ceremony, he said that time is of an essence. And mindfulness also teaches you one thing, to value time, not only yours, but also others, because that is also important. Otherwise, so that was one bad habit, which mindfulness also helped me to overcome, being respectful of time. And of course, when I give a speech, I do the breathing technique. I take, deep breaths, 5 deep breaths before I go. And if I'm not understanding something, if I'm not, if I'm sitting through a presentation and if I'm not getting something, I'm not conscious about putting my hand up and saying that, what, I did not understand. And I appreciate students who say the same thing when I'm teaching something as hypothesis, theorem, or something in a statistics class. And I always appreciate feedback, and all these disturbance will keep coming, So there is one technique which I would like to share with you, and that is basically a breathing technique, which is a small breathing technique. If we are ready for it, just a very simple breathing technique. So if you want, you just sit in an upright position, loosen your body, just loosen your hand, your shoulders, and take a deep breath. As you breathe in, try to locate your breath. Where is your breath? Is it in your nostril, in your chest, or in your belly? Your mind will wander. Bring it back to your breath. And exhale. Again, when you breathe, focus on your breath. Try to locate it. The right way to breathe is from your belly, but do be in a non-judgmental way. If you want, you can keep your hand on the belly. As you exhale, the law of physics apply. Your belly goes in. Continue the process of breathing. Locate your breath. Where is your breath? Is it in your nostril, in your chest, or in your belly? Do not let your mind to wander. Try to bring it back to the breath. And exhale out. We will do 3 more breaths. We'll take 3 deep breaths. Again, relax. Bring in the positivity of this group or the people you know. And take in all the positivity. If you have any negative thoughts, any insecurity, which you would like to throw out of your system, it could be an old agony, or it could be just something happened in the morning. As you exhale out, bring it out and hit it through your breath on the floor. Again, take in the positivity and the group energy and breathe in. And as you breathe out, just throw anything which was stopping you, which was an impedance, out of your system on the floor. And finally, for the last time, take a deep breath. That's going to rejuvenate you. That's going to make you happy. That's going to cleanse your system. And exhale the last bit of negativity, anything which was blocking you, onto the floor. And whenever you're ready, you may open your eyes with a smile. So this helps, and it takes what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's not a very long thing, but this should be a consistent thing, and you should believe in breathing, because this is also scientific. We need oxygen, and the quality of breath is compromised, and because we always breathe from here, and nothing is more important, because people say, okay, this is at stake, that is at stake, but is it worth that? If you do not breathe, then will you have the job and the car and the house? Okay. On the interest of time, I don't know where I've reached, because I really love the audience, and I have to be mindful myself. Toastmaster Yogesh, or the moderator, okay, where we are.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nilesh. Yeah, we usually are a lovely audience. Thank you for that. And we just have a couple of, so in interest of time, any 2 key takeaways that you'd like to leave us with from this session?
Rather than sharing everything new, I would just like to reiterate that follow the principle of taking a deep breath, a body scan, just to begin with, and MCE. Remember moderation when you eat food, when you do anything. continue with the process every day, write your speeches, get them mentored, attend regularly, and enjoying the process. That's very, very important to enjoy, because we have one life to live and one journey to experience. So on that note, thank you from this end.
Thank you, Toastmaster English, for such a wonderful session. And thank you for introducing us to the world of mindfulness. And we'll definitely have great takeaways from this session. And people can always reach out to you through your social media, right? If they
Yes,
have any.
yes. Toastmaster Yogesh has all my details, Insta, Facebook, just drop in a message informally. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster English for the session. Thank you, Toastmaster English. So next up, final keynote speaker, last but not least, we have Dtm Leo with us. And his speech is going to be on the Toastmasters journey. So before I'll hand over the dais, I would like to give a quick introduction about Dtm Leo. Dtm Leo is a teacher, trainer, coach, and a mentor. He has been in Toastmasters since September 2003. He has also achieved DTM on old curriculum called Legacy in 2014 and achieved DTM status in Pathways in September 2021. He has been a chartered president, VP Public Relations, and chartered president of Dubai Legends, division director, mentor, and sponsors of many Toastmaster clubs. He runs his own business in Dubai in life, estate, public speaking, and career university placements for international students. He is married and has a wonderful family. Dtm Leo lives in London, Dubai, Mumbai, and Goa. With that, just to reiterate the ground rules. So the speech will be timed for 20 minutes. You will be shown a red card at 18th minute, and a green card at 18th minute, and a red card at 20th minute. And TM Krati, if you can show me the cards so that the keynote speaker can be aware of what the cards look like. Yeah, so this is the green card, which will be shown at 18th minute. And the red card will be shown at 28th minute for 5 seconds. And we'll have a Q&A session as always after this session. Over to you, Dtm Leo. You have any specific request, Dtm Leo?
Yeah, just one request, President Yogesh, that keep my time green at 15 and the other one at 17 and the red at 20.
Okay.
Got it.
Please note it.
Okay. Well, maybe the red at 19. Keep the red at 19 because in case I know I have 1 minute to wrap up. Yeah, keep the red at 19.
Got it.
Sure.
Is that clear? So 15, 17, 19, please.
Okay. So with that, we hand over the virtual dais over to you, Dtm Leo.
Yeah, good morning, each and every one of you. Thank you very much for the kind words, President Yogesh. It's good to see you after a long, long time. It's very, very early morning in London, and I'm just trying to keep myself awake, but I'll do my best. Today, ladies and gentlemen, once again, a warm welcome and good morning. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased, honored, and humbled to see each and every one of you. You are on my screen as I speak. The topic I'm going to talk is what Toastmaster Yogesh entrusted me is on Beyond Toastmasters. What is Beyond Toastmasters? How it has helped me and what effect it has created in me and how it has helped me to reach out to others. I'll just talk about it in brief. 17 minutes, hopefully. Let me start with a quote. Maybe some of you can identify it. I like to make my sessions interactive. So on and off, I'll throw some questions. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader. Said who? Any one of you? Anyone? Tell me. Are you listening? Am I loud and clear?
Yes.
Great. Said the president, I think it was the 7th president of, oh, I have one answer. I'll tell you, it was one of the presidents of the United States.
Lincoln.
Okay, the president was John Quincy Adams. I think he was the 7th president, if my memory serves me right. 7th or 10th, I think 7th. Now let me focus on that. Okay, what I do as a Toastmaster, I take these quotes and I add some flavor to it, spice to it, to make it juicy and tell the audience. So what have I done here? If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, that means be a better self of your version, whatever you are at the moment, you are a leader. I also add one more, see more. Make it 5. Okay. I have a question for each one of you. Are you a leader? I hope you're listening to me. Are you?
Yes.
Yes. Are you a leader? Somebody said in making. Anybody in chat? Are you a leader at this moment in time? Answer me, yes or no. So we'll take it forward. Journey to become, very good. Everything is a journey in life, isn't it? Sometimes we arrive at the destination, sometimes we don't. And if we arrive, we have another destination to conquer. Yes, at some areas. Very good. What about, okay, to me, each one of you are a leader. Otherwise, you will not be here. You are a leader, not a leader in progress, not a leader in not a leader trying to be. You are already a leader. And when I say something, I support my statement. You don't know why somebody says, oh my gosh. Let me tell you one thing. If you are not a leader, you are a follower, one of the two. If I tell somebody to do something and the person listens to me, you are a leader. Somebody listens to me. When you're a mentor to someone, you are a leader. He's following you. Leaders have followers, right? At the moment I'm leading this session for this time, 30 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever, because you're listening to me. You are following me. I hope so. I hope you're listening to me. But I believe that you're listening to me. So it's fine. Yeah, you're following me. So I am a leader. If I'm not a leader, I'm a follower. All parents are termed as leaders. Each and every one of you are a mother or a father, you are a leader. Why? Because you tell your son or daughter what to do. And if they don't listen to you, they try to convince you their point of view and they become leaders. And it's very easy for them to do that because they cry. And once they cry, you succumb to their emotions and you listen to them. Have you experienced that? Those who are fathers here, mothers here? Yes. So that's it. Even children are leaders. They know how to turn the head of the parents. And that's all what it is to. All right? So you are a leader, you are here. Now, let me take one by one. Actions. So if your actions, okay. For me, how it helped Toastmasters is very simple. I joined in 2003, September, a long time ago. I was no way, nothing. I used to say, oh, what a lovely speaker, what good. And everybody was good except me. I said to myself, I need to be better than them. To be better than them, first I had to be a better version of myself. I had to raise my bar of performance. And how do I do that? Simple is inspire. That is the word. Actions. Can anybody do anything in life without actions? We need to act, isn't it? For example, we go for a training course, and then we learn there. And once we learn something, and if I don't apply it, activate what I learned, no use. My training, money, whatever I spent is useless. Same in Toastmasters. If I don't apply it, what's the point of coming to Toastmasters? Waste of time. So that part, action, activity. Action speaks louder than words. Am I right? And where does action comes from? Where does actions come from?
From within?
From within, yes. But if I stand only and don't move, nothing is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I need to move. Yep. Let me tell you, have you heard of Confucius? He was one of the philosophers or gurus in the Chinese. And he said, I think he passed away in 550 BC. Very good. Somebody said, Krunal said, action comes from strong motives. Absolutely right. Thoughts. Everything in life starts with a thought, an idea. And from even dreams, everything starts from there. And from it grows. Yes, indeed. Confucius said 540 BC. I see, I remember. I hear, I forget. I do, I understand. So the understanding comes in doing. And that's what I tell my mentees. Take the stage as many times as possible. Because doing on the stage comes the understanding how to do. You can hear hundreds of videotapes, hundreds of things you can listen, hundreds of my speeches you can listen. Do this, do that. But if you don't do it, nothing is going to work. Nothing. You have to do it. Toastmasters, I realize, is the practice ground. Any of you play cricket? Cricket. I am an avid cricket fan. Whenever I'm in London and there's a test match going on, I go. I go to the Oval, I go to the Lord's Cricket Ground. Avid fan. I've realized that when they play a test match or a one-day or T20, it's only for a brief moment of time. But imagine the hours that go in the practice. Same with Usain Bolt, the hours that he puts in the practice. And that's where I realized in Toastmasters, the 5 Ps. Proper practice prevents poor performance. Practice, 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 and have a proper practice. Proper practice prevents poor performance on stage or anywhere in life. For me, Toastmasters was a practice ground, like a net practice. Real thing was outside Toastmasters, where people would say, wow, what a lovely speaker. What a speaker. I wonder from where he learned. And that's the time when they come up to you and tell you, where did you learn this public speaking? Tell them Toastmasters. That's how you get members. Beer. Now, number 2, inspire. What does inspiring mean? Has any one of you done the old DTM or done the old CC manual? Anybody has done the old CC manual? Krunal. Me. Oh, wonderful. Krunal. Tell me, what does the word inspire mean? Okay, which speech is it in? Where does inspiring, in which speech number does it come in?
I don't remember exactly, but probably 5th or 6th.
Okay, you are close. It comes in 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
6 is close to 9. Very close. Okay. It comes in 9th and 10th. And if you have the old CC manual, go to page number 45. It talks about persuade with power. And page number 10 is your last speech, is your inspiring speech. That is how to inspire the audience. That is page 50 of the manual. Now, let me tell you one thing. When I joined Toastmasters, nobody would recognize me. Nobody would look at me, nothing. And I said to myself, how do I make these experienced Toastmasters look up to me? And I said, I will by-heart the entire manual, the old one. 75 to 80 pages, I by-hearted. Took me 5 years, 5 to 6 years to by-heart it. And that's how I became good in Toastmasters, because I could give good evaluations. Once I gave good evaluations, everybody came to me, Leo, can you evaluate me? Can you evaluate me? Hey, I became popular. They stopped going to the experienced Toastmasters, they came to me. Every time I won the award, best evaluator. But to get to the best evaluator, I knew I had to get the best speaker award. Because when you get the best speaker's award, you get recognized. People know you. Then you go to the other clubs. You win there also. You beat the people there also. And you get more recognized. The one thing I realized that every project I do, I master the project. And it took me a long time. Some people do DTM in 3-4 years. My goodness me. For me, it took at least 10 years for the first DTM. I took my time in between. I did my leadership. I was the charter president 2011, area director 2013, then division director, then mentor, sponsors of the club, mentors of the club, etc., etc. Lots of leadership things which came together with it. So action is important. If your actions inspire. Inspire is, how do you define inspire? Anybody? Let's make it fast. How many minutes have passed, timer? Timer, how many minutes have passed? How many?
14 minutes have passed. 14
Oh my gosh, I have to rush. So I'll rush a little more now. Inspire. Now, inspiring anybody, what does inspire mean?
Make person act like you.
Yeah, make person act like you. Of course, very good. But don't try to do that. Let them be themselves. Let them be a better version. So you're right. You know, you motivate them. You motivate them to reinforce their existing ideas or beliefs, not necessary to alter those ideas or beliefs. Like, for example, commencement speeches in university students, etc., sermons, and everybody gives. These are like inspiring them personally, emotionally, professionally, and spiritually. Mindfulness, like Toastmaster Nilesh Bhandarkar was speaking to us. Yeah. So that part of it, yes, you inspire them. Now, Toastmasters has taught me one more thing. Do you know the core values of Toastmasters? Anybody remember the 4 core values?
Yes. Respect, integrity, service, and excellence.
Absolutely right. I've added 2 more things to that. One is compassion and ethics. So these are the fundamental values I feel in life we need to carry with us wherever we go. This is another thing what Toastmasters taught me. But the most important thing Toastmasters taught me was what makes a great speech and when is a speech great. Only 2 things are there. If you can combine both of this in your speech, you are a winner. You have arrived on the big stage. So what makes a speech great is your structure of the speech. And what is the takeaway message? And what's a great speech? Delivery, body language, vocal variety. What is vocal variety? This is all what I understood and learned. Vocal variety is nothing but, loud enough to be heard, clear enough to be understood, expressive enough to be interesting, and joyful to be pleasant. Just 4 things. That is voice, vocal variety. loud enough to be heard, clear enough to be understood, expressive enough to be interested, and joyful to be pleasant. And body language. Anyone? Body language, project number 5 in the manual. Body language is basically 5 parts. Your body, your pose, how do you stand erect? Not like this, coming. People will not get attracted to you. You have to connect immediately. That's what I learned. Body language, that is pose, your body movement on stage, how you carry yourself, the aura that you have, then your facial expressions, your eye contact, and last but not the least, what did I say? Body movement, facial expressions, eye contact. Did I miss out something? Your pose. And pauses are very important. This is what I learned. Pauses, silence sends a message, pause is a device. These devices you got to use. Now let's go to the next one. I have not reached. Dream more, you need to have a vision. But dreaming alone is not enough. You attach a goal to it. Means you have a deadline. I'm going to achieve this dream of mine in this time. That becomes your goal. And then the next part I said is do more activity. We talked about it. You can never be satisfied with what you are. There's always scope to know more, to learn more, to progress in life. A human being should progress. And become more is nothing but to be a better version of yourself. Raise your bar. You can always know where your bar is if you see others how they are doing and put a bar to yourself and raise your bar of performance. What I did was basically in my journey on Toastmasters, I had a metric system, monitor and measure. So I had a vision board. A vision board. And in the vision board, I measured myself, monitor and measure how you are doing. What goals have I achieved? What speeches? What have I learned? What is the evaluation I got? And mind you, after I did my 20 speeches in the old one, I used to go to clubs outside my club, my main club, my mother club, and I used to have around 5 evaluators. How did I do that? One is my main evaluator. Other 4, I used to give the papers to them and tell them, give me silent evaluation. The sheet at the back you used to get. I used to tell them, right there, put your comments. And I used to collect all that to see the different points of views. Each one is unique, so each one will have a different point of view. And that's what I did to be here. Learn is nothing but, we always learn. We have to be a student of learning. We have to be humble. Open a heart for learning. If I don't open my heart for learning, I will not learn. And even at my age, I feel ashamed to tell you my age, but I'm proud of it. I'm 67 and 1 week old. But yet, I find joy in learning. So you got to find that joy. Whatever, that will inspire you to uplift yourself and be a better version of yourself. Have a vision board in Toastmasters. What is your journey? What is your length? What you have learned? Write it down. And not only write it down, put pictures there because the mind thinks in terms of pictures. In the beginning, I used to write down, my speeches and try to memorize it. After my 20 speeches, I never memorized a speech, never. I learned the art of thinking of the words in pictures. And I put my mind in pictures. And I spoke about the pictures. As simple as that. That's how great speakers do. They never memorize. Because you can forget. You can get distracted. And you forget what you have said. And it has happened to me twice. I've forgotten something on stage because somebody opened the door and came into the meeting. And for 10, 20 seconds, I went blank. That's not a pause. That's not a silence because the audience will realize. So then I realized how to think in terms of pictures, and no matter what happens, I get disturbed. And that's what Toastmasters taught me. It's a practice group. I learned. And that was Toastmasters all about to me. So let me summarize. I summarized with actions, inspiration we talked about, dreams we talked about, vision, learn, yes, open your heart for learning, become. Become is the most important. You be a better version of yourself. Raise your bar up, like me. I raised my bar up. And each one, can never say to themselves, I know enough. I know all of it. There's never all. There's always something or the other to learn, something to pick up. That's about it all. Now, okay. Now let's start a question and answer session. Anybody, any questions? Please. No questions? That means none of you have listened to me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's that, Yogesh? Sir?
No,
Ronald.
Yeah. Please.
So
Can
thank
you
you
put
for
in
the
the chat box
wonderful.
so that I can read out? Yeah, please.
Thank you for the wonderful and insightful sharing of your experience. So I'm curious to know that what was that one thing that made you stick to the Toastmasters for more than 18, 20 years now?
It's like, after a little while, it becomes a pastime. No, that's not true. Why I stuck is, see, the pathway scheme, right? I finished in the old one, I finished, there are 75. I finished all of them, 75 speeches. I finished 70 almost. 5 speeches were storytelling, and I was evaluating so many times that I knew storytelling, and I thought, okay, that's not, I went in the leadership and they made me leaders here, there, whatnot. And main thing is that I'm learning. There's so much to learn, and it keeps me active, keeps my brain in motion. Sometimes if you are not, you need oiling if you don't do that for some time. And then it takes a time. That's it. It's just a passion for it. Just passion and the hunger to learn more. Pathways is a wonderful thing. I feel there are so many things and so many things to learn. So just the learning keeps me going. Is that okay, sir?
Yes, thank you. And one last thing, you have a beautiful shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Thank you very much. Thank you. Anybody else? Or we have run out of time?
I think we have time for a couple more questions, and we can.
Okay, please.
After that. So I have a question, Dtm Leo. So I've seen that you have stellar credentials all across your Toastmasters and your career as well. So how did you manage to excel at both of these? And considering that we find it very difficult to squeeze time for our passion, our extracurricular activities, how did you manage to excel in both of these aspects and family as well equally?
You see, one of the most important things in life is family. Okay, I don't think I have done a good job in any part of life. I don't think I have a good job in family. I don't think I've done a good job in Toastmasters. I don't think I've done a good job in my work. That's what I think. Others may think, oh, wow, fantastic, he's here, he's living in London, this thing. They can think what they want. It's my thoughts that matters. Eleanor Roosevelt said, what lies in front of you and what lies behind you is nothing compared to what lies inside you. And what lies inside you is your attitude, your thoughts, which are precious to you only. Nobody can own them. Only you can own them. So I know myself when people say to me, oh, you got this, you got that award and this award. I say, yeah, thank you. I don't keep it. I don't take it. Because I feel to myself, I don't deserve it. I deserve more. You remember I said more is mentioned there all the time, starting. It's the more that I was hungry for. I was thirsty for. You can take a horse to the river to drink water, but you can't force him to drink. Nobody can force other person. I can't force you to do anything, nothing. I may try to convince you. I may try to persuade you, inspire you, but I can't force you. So how do I force the horse? By making him thirsty. If he's thirsty only, he will go to drink the water. So I'm thirsty. It's like that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, sir.
Balancing is very difficult. Family life, work life, Toastmasters life, very difficult. But the beauty of Toastmasters is you can give a speech whenever you want. There's no certain date, certain time you can do. You can phone up the president and say, hey, president, sorry to inform you, I'm caught up at work. I can't come and deliver the speech today. You give priorities. What is more important, work, family, or Toastmasters?
Thank you for sharing.
Toastmasters, I would say, leave it for free time.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have one more question. Anyone else would like to?
Yeah. Good afternoon. This side, Manish Garg. Actually, I am joining Toastmaster first time, and I am really inspired with your 20 minutes of the session, and really it motivates me to join Toastmaster. And the question is related to the earlier question, that how we can manage with your experience. You have a lot of experience, so how we can manage really time to create ourselves better. Actually, everyone thinks that how we can become better, but how to invest time beautifully. So there are lots of videos, there are lots of sessions available, but I want to hear from you because I am really motivated from you. So that's why I want to understand that how we can invest our time in a better way.
Thank you, sir, for your question. Very good question. Don't waste your time going to listen to this person, that person, and this person, and even Dtm Leo also. Okay, listen to yourself first, number one. When my son went to do his university studies in the States, he studied in the University of California. He asked me a question, what should I do, Dad? And you know why I gave him this answer several times. Listen to your heart. Your heart will tell you what to do. Because you need three things in life, I told him, to succeed, whatever you do. And to find these three things, only you can find it. Nobody else can find for you. But how do you find these three things is very simple. I showed him the way. That's what I do. When I evaluate, I show them how to do to improve themselves. And three things was very simple. If at all you want to take anything from this session, take these three things. Number one, is what, God has given the attribute for you to do. Like Beethoven was told he had no ear for music, but he gave the best music to the world. So the number one is talent. Each one of us has a talent in them. You have one talent, sir. Toastmaster Krati has another talent. Toastmaster Pradeep has another talent. Find it. Talent is something you do automatically and you don't feel stressed or anything. You love and you enjoy doing it. Comes automatically. So he used to get 50 out of 50, 96 out of 100, 98 out of 100 in economics. And I used to tell him, son, you never study. How do you do it? He said, I don't know. I just do it. I listen to the one and everything is in my head. So I said, do that then. Take economics. Simple. Find yourself. Number two, once you have the talent, what do you need? You have identified. You need the skills. Skills like public speaking, Toastmasters. Communication and leadership, Toastmasters. How to communicate with people. If I cannot put my ideas forth to a person to convince, then it's gone. Right? So you need to, the skills can be learned. And number three, activity, action. What is the use if I have the skills and talent and if I don't put it to use? And I sleep at home or at home all the time. Action is important. These three things. Does that answer, sir, your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Does it help?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I will practice all three guidelines.
Yeah. Now, what was your question again?
So it's the question that again I have to practice first of all three things. Then definitely I want to in contact with you.
No, that is your answer. Never mind. Sometimes when I give questions, I forget my question itself. So I just trying to, sometimes you do this practice ground. You find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, okay, sir. Anything else, or we are done for time? I think, Yogesh.
Yeah, I think we are done for time. And with that, we come to an end of wonderful keynote speeches. And let us have a huge round of applause for.
Thank you very much. It has been a joy and a pleasure to be here amongst you. What shall I say? A very august audience in the month of March. Let's march towards a better version of ourselves.
True.
Thank you. Bye-bye, each and every one of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dtm Leo.
Group photo, please. Group photo, please.
So before you leave, we'll have a group photo. So can everyone?
Before that, Sai, let's have the felicitation, and then normally we can have a group photo.
Okay. So maybe I'll hand over the task to President Yogesh to felicitate our keynote speakers. Over to you, President Yogesh.
Thank you, TMOD Sai. Thank you. What a wonderful session from all the three keynote speakers. And a personal thank you from my side for accepting the invite and joining us tonight. Because I know normally today, it's a long Sunday. All things were planned for you. And the last moment I asked you, requested you to join, and you came in. Especially Dtm Leo, because I know it's 5 o'clock in the morning in London, but still normally you woke up and you joined us and gave us a wonderful speech. Thank you. For the letter of expression, normally I would like to hand over the certificates. And can we have Zoom Master? So our first keynote speaker, Dtm Joe, gave us a wonderful speech and gave us the tenets, normally how normally we can imply the things in our life and how we can think creatively with an elephant example. One example throughout the session. It was a great thing to do. Thank you, Dtm Joe. I hope you are there. Yeah. The next is Toastmaster Nilesh. Toastmaster Nilesh, thank you for the mindfulness session. That's a must need normally right now in all our busy life. Especially when you are giving a Tokyo example, I was remembering my experience with the Shenzhen Bank in Tokyo, who were my client. They used to always say that if you are on time, you are always 5 minutes late. And that was resonating with the example you are giving, where you removed your bad habit with mindfulness of being on time. Thank you, Toastmaster Nilesh. And then comes normally our Dtm Leo. Thank you once again from the bottom of the heart for giving us such an inspiring speech. It was a showstopper speech. Thank you, Dtm Leo. With this, I would like to have a group photo. So can everybody turn on their videos, please? Mansur?
On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Done.
Thank you. Thank you all, our entire audience. And this concludes our 225th first milestone normally in our tenure. And let's progress towards our next milestone. Just an announcement. Next Sunday is our contest. And let's participate and rock the things. I hope all are already inspired today to do that. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.